Hi, I'm Carolyn from o2bstampin.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a little surprise I'd like to show you in this card that I made today. So I thought this would be fun to send to a friend of mine. We've been friends for many years. I wanted to sort of give her something a little like extra pop. So when you pull the edges of this card, how about that? Isn't that cute? So I think that'll be a fun surprise for her. So at the same time, I thought you might like to learn how to do this card as well. So come and join me. So here are some of the materials I used to make that card. First, I started with the Big on Birthday stamp set. I used the Happy Birthday here. And I used Wishing You a Very Happy Birthday on the back. Also used this little flower sprig. So stamp set Big on Birthday. You're going to need some sweet sugar plum cardstock and some matching designer paper. And actually I'm just realizing this paper is retired, but you can use just about any plain cardstock with this card and a designer series paper that coordinates. So then we also have a small piece here, Whisper White, as well as the designer series paper, and they measure, the Whisper White is a very precise measurement. Sorry, I always try to make them easy, but this one is 1 inch by 4 1/8, and the designer series paper is 3/4 inch by 4, so that one's not too hard to measure out. Okay, I'm going to bring in these two pieces of sweet sugar plum that measure 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, and they're scored at 1 and 1 3/4. Just show you that here. So you line this up with your 1. Use your score, slide it down in 1 3/4, line it up, and use your score. Okay, now we have both of those done. We're going to fold them using a W shape. So you're going to fold this one towards you. Use your bone folder. And the same with this one, fold it forward. And then you're going to fold the other crease backwards. And use your bone folder. Okay, and then this one is right there. You can kind of feel that, the back of that crease with your fingers. But just be sure that after you've creased it, you use your bone folder. Okay, so we have these two pieces. We have a piece of designer series paper and the Whisper White, and we have our designer series paper that measures 4 by 4 3/4. This is 4 by 3/4. This one's 4 by 4 3/4. Okay, so I'm going to actually attach this to my card front using just some snail adhesive. Okay, and then I'm going to actually put this on my Whisper White and attach that. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set these pieces aside. I'm going to bring out a piece of Whisper White that measures 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to bring in my stamp that says happy birthday and my archival black ink. And I prefer to ink these larger stamps up this direction. I just think it's I can see what I'm inking up a lot better. If I've missed a place, it stands out to me. Okay, now I can see there's a little bit of missing ink there, even with the paper piercing mat. But one of the things I like sometimes when I'm taping is for something to go wrong so I can show you how you can fix it. Okay, let me zoom in here so you can sort of see what I'm talking about a little better. See this H? Don't like that. So I'm actually just going to take my black marker, and I'm not going to color deeply. I'm not going to color in every little white spot because then it will stand out a little bit more than it actually should. Or you can also take a blender pen. I do that often. Just take a blender pen, dip it in some a black ink pad, and just fill this in. Okay, so this is the only part I'm not real sure about. I guess that doesn't look too bad. Okay, so now there's a little tip for you on how to fix something when it goes wrong, especially if you've already used the other side of the paper. Now we're going to actually bring in a framelit set called Lots of Labels. So, I need to zoom back out, that's for sure. Hold on 1 second. There we go, that's much better. So this is called the Lots of Labels framelit die, and I have the bigger one I'm going to use in this project. And it's going to fit right around here. But first, just to make things a little easier, I'm going to go ahead and color my happy birthday in. So I'm just going to use garden green for the leaves. I'm not going to do, actually let me get this out from under here. I'm not going to do the whole project. I'm just going to show you sort of what the color is going to look like. You can use your paintbrush tip here or your writing brush, which is on this side, or a combination of both, which is what I find myself doing. Okay, let me zoom in here so you can sort of see what I'm talking about a little better. See this H? Don't like that. So I'm actually just going to take my black marker, and I'm not going to color deeply. I'm not going to color in every little white spot because then it will stand out a little bit more than it actually should. Or you can also take a blender pen. I do that often. Just take a blender pen, dip it in some a black ink pad, and just fill this in. Okay, so this is the only part I'm not real sure about. I guess that doesn't look too bad. Okay, so now there's a little tip for you on how to fix something when it goes wrong, especially if you've already used the other side of the paper. So this is called the Lots of Labels framelit die, and I have the bigger one I'm going to use in this project. And it's going to fit right around here. But first, just to make things a little easier, I'm going to go ahead and color my happy birthday in. So I'm just going to use garden green for the leaves. I'm not going to do, actually let me get this out from under here. I'm just going to show you sort of what the color is going to look like. You can use your paintbrush tip here or your writing brush, which is on this side, or a combination of both, which is what I find myself doing. Then we're going to use rich raspberry on the outside of the flowers. And then this color is Sweet Sugar Plum. Should have known that just by looking at it because I've used it so much. Absolutely love this color. And I just sort of went around as well and kind of picked up these little dots. Just be careful when you're coloring with the tip of your marker not to press too hard. It'll fray the tip and then it won't work as nicely. Just noticed a little spot I missed. There we go. Okay. I want to add one other little detail here to the flower. So I've got my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to color these in. You can actually dip these in the lids of your stamp pads and color like that so that you have that little wink of glitter. Oh, I just love this. I just think it's so pretty. I'm actually going to even do the leaves because I just think it's so pretty. Alright, carried away here. Okay, stop. Alright, and then I'm going to use this, my magnetic platform, 2 cutting pads. So magnetic platform, cutting pad, lots of labels, framelit set, cutting pad. I'm going to go cut this at my Big Shot and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and this is what I brought with me. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to bring my card back in here. We're going to go ahead and decorate the front. I did pop this front piece up with dimensionals. So I was watching a video the other day and they said you should always put a dimensional in the middle. And I don't always do that, but the reasoning behind it sounded good, to keep it strong there in the center so it doesn't flop and not look as professional, or professional I guess is the right word. Alright, and one more. Okay, so I'm just going to put that right, actually I'm going to tilt that a little bit because I just think it looks like it fits a little bit better that way. Okay, then I'm going to bring in my wishing you a very happy birthday and piece of cardstock. This piece of cardstock measures 4 3/4 by 4, and it's going to be designed for use on the back of the card. Okay, so we're going to ink this up with Sweet Sugar Plum. Now you want to keep in mind that you are also going to be inking up a garland in the upper left-hand corner. So be sure that you come down sort of in the, not quite middle, a little more right of middle. Okay, so let's bring in the piece we're going to use for the back and ink it up using the Sweet Sugar Plum and the Sentiment. Alright, and then with black, I'm going to bring in the garland. Now one of the things, can't see that, one of the things that I noticed when I was stamping this is that you can't, oh, I shouldn't say you can't. I didn't like the way I was not really able to get the whole garland to fit. Now I'm sure I could have just gone this way, but I was trying to get it to go in a corner, and so I chose to use just the right portion of the stamp. That looks good. And then I just stamped it up here in the corner. Oh, wrong corner. So I like to try to get in as much as I can, and so I'm going to go right there. All right. The next thing I did was color that in, and I'm sure you've sort of seen what that looked like. So I'm not going to do that like on the video, but used the same colors again, except I just used the Sugar Plum without the rich raspberry on the back. And then, excuse me, brought in the backing for my card. And to make sure that I was putting that right side, I brought this one out. The way these are going to match up is like so. That makes sense to everybody, so they're going to go like this. But we still have a few more things that I want to do with that, but what I do want to right now is to add the message on the back. So make sure that you know which piece is the top. Flip that over, and we're going to put that right here. Okay, I'm just going to use some snail. That was a prior attempt. Put this down. Okay. All right, now I want to make, before we put the card together, I want to make the pop-up. So for that, I used some balloons from the Balloon Adventures Thinlet die. The little bows are cut with rich raspberry, and they also come from that same Balloon Adventures. This is cut with the, I forget what the color might have been for this, but I think it might have been Sugar Plum, if I remember right, glimmer paper that we had during Celebration. So first I'm just going to take, oh, I almost forgot one little detail. Okay, so balloon punch, whisper white paper, come in from the side with the big balloon and punch, and then slide it down till the big balloon is in the window again, and punch. Okay. Alright, I'm going to simply glue these together. I like to, when I'm gluing little things like this, I love using my silicone sheet because nothing ever gets stuck where I don't want it to stick. So for right now, I'm going to take my Tombow . I just realized I did that backwards. You should put the glue on the back of the balloon where the holes are not. I wasn't thinking. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I do the same thing with that one. I guess not. It's not sticky anyway, so that's a good thing. We're going to add this little bow. can use a glue dot here if you prefer. It does take a while for the bow to stick using the Tombow glue. Doesn't like the glitter quite as much. The glue dot will take to it a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to just put those there for the moment. So the next thing we are going to do is to make the mechanism for the pop-up on the balloons. This little piece of paper does all the work, even though it only measures 2 inches by 2 3/4. You're going to take the point of the corner of the cardstock and you're going to place it on the 1/2 inch mark. Once you do that, you're going to line up the point with one of the horizontal lines here. You're going to put your piece this bar down when you can see that the point is on this horizontal line, and then where it intersects those 2 outside horizontal lines is even. So in other words, you don't want it like this or like that. You want it completely even, and to do that you need to line up the point with the horizontal line, line up the edges here and here with the 2 horizontal lines going out, and then close this and score. Now, for all that fun, that's all you need to do for the mechanism. Okay, so put this aside and let's construct our card. One other little fun thing that you can do with this card, purely optional, but there's also a sentiment in the kit that says, "It's your day." So what I like to do when I'm doing this card is to actually stamp that right here. Okay. Alright, so how do we put this together? We're going to take these pieces, as I showed you before, they're going to go together like this. But before we do that, we want to add the fun. So we're going to take the top piece and flip it over. Okay, so with this, where you scored it in your paper cutter, place this so that it is facing you, the little flap is facing you. You're going to put glue on the back of that little triangle. Keep in mind, this is the only thing that makes this work, this little tiny triangle. And then you're going to place it 1 3/4 inches from the bottom. And you're going to place it in this, I should move this over here, it'll be easier for you to see. 1 3/4, and you're going to want to be placing it in that center piece between the 2 score lines. So here, and 1 3/4, up a little, right there. Then give that a chance to dry. And meanwhile, we can decorate. Actually, it would have been easier to have decorated that before I did all that, but that's alright. I do things backwards every once in a while. I do them backwards a lot of the times. Okay, so as we get ready to add our balloons, we're just going to put glue at the bottom section and then glue that to the top. Same thing with the other one. Now the balloons will overlap somewhat. They are supposed to. I like it there. Okay. And now for the magic. Now you can use Tombow glue here, or you can use tear and tape adhesive, whatever you'd like. Okay, so this is going together like so. It's going to be like that, and then it's going to go Bingo. Okay, so flip this over. We're going to put some glue here. This should be as much 90 degrees as you can make it. Just notice it was a little loose. Okay, and then you're going to put this edge together. All right. And then we will put this edge together. Here we go, and it's a little bulky when you very first couple times you use it. You just want to press down with your hands. Okay, and then when you pull here on both sides, there's your balloon. Hello, happy birthday to you. And can you just imagine all the fun things you could put in, you know, as pop-ups? Like you could do butterflies or a bird or a little puppy, whatever. I just think this is a very cute fun fold, and I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, would love to have a thumbs up on my YouTube channel, and I hope that you liked it enough that you might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And that simply means that anytime I post something new, you'll get an email in your inbox letting you know. So thanks for stopping by tonight. Again, my name is Carolyn with O2BStamping.com. Have a great evening.